name's Petunia. I'm a Canadian touring, traveling musician. I play all over the world, playing Americana roots music and occasionally some Jimmie Rodgers songs. I'm here today with you at the birthplace of Country Music Museum to talk a little bit about the Bristol 1927 sessions in which Jimmie Rodgers recorded some songs. Jimmie Rodgers was born in Meridian, Mississippi in 1897. His father worked for the Mobile and Ohio Railroad yards, and he procured Jimmie a job working as a water boy. Later on, Jimmie worked at the Northeastern and New Orleans Railroad. Despite working on the rails, Jimmie knew pretty early on that he really enjoyed singing and entertaining. In fact, by the age of 13, he had run away from home twice to be part of traveling shows. I've heard that he stole his mother's blankets for the tents that he was staying at these shows. In 1924, Jimmie was diagnosed with tuberculosis at the age of 27. He wasn't able to work on the trains anymore, but this gave him the chance to work more on his first love, singing and playing music. By 1927, Jimmie was in Asheville, North Carolina, working on a local radio show with musicians from Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia. They called themselves the Jimmie Rodgers Entertainers. In August of that year, they heard that Ralph Peer from the Victor Talking Machine Company was in Bristol, and they traveled up to the audition to see what they could do. Jimmie Rodgers came to the 1927 Bristol sessions to record as part of the singing group, but he ended up singing and recording as a solo singer, and his singing group recorded separately as the Geneva Ramblers. He recorded 2 songs in Bristol, Sleep Baby Sleep and The Soldier's Sweetheart. Peer really liked Jimmie's performance, and he invited him back to a recording session in New Jersey in November of 1927. The first song released from that recording session was Jimmie's famous T for Texas, Blue Yodel. It has since been recorded by dozens of other musicians. It was an instant hit for Jimmie, and he became a national star. Jimmie Rodgers became known as the singing brakeman for his connection with the railroad. He was also known as America's Blue Yodeler for the use of his blue yodels in many of his songs. And today, he's recognized as the father of country music due to the huge impact he's had on the industry. But what made him so special? He stood out to Peer for his crooner singing style, his confidence, and his personality. He had star power, for sure. His style was influenced by vaudeville performers, popular music of the time, and African-American railway workers and blues singers that he had heard when he was younger while working on the railroad. A solo guitarist singing bluesy hillbilly songs in Jimmie's style was very unusual at the time. Peer knew that he stood out from the crowd. He also knew that Jimmie could deliver hit after hit, as was also true with Mabel Carter and her famous Carter Scratch. Jimmie's style of playing guitar was instrumental in bringing guitar to the forefront of country music. Jimmie also used his signature stylistic device in many of his songs, the Blue Yodel. His yodel wasn't quite like European style yodeling you might hear in something like Sound of Music. His yodel was more lonesome. Maybe had something to do with the African-American field holler. That yodel was soon the most influential sound in hillbilly music, showcased on Rodgers' records and recorded since by many artists of his time and beyond. Here's a funny story though about a man named W.E. Meyer from up around Richlands, Virginia. He had his own hillbilly record label in the 1920s called Lonesome Ace. He disliked Jimmie Rodgers' yodel so much that he refused to record any songs with yodels on them. And he even had the words, "without a yodel," put on the record label. Sadly, Jimmie Rodgers' career only lasted a few years as he died from tuberculosis in 1933. Musicians of today still talk about the importance and influence of Jimmie Rodgers. And there's no doubt that country music would exist in its present form without his influence and legacy. So let's end this video with a tribute to Jimmie Rodgers and his Blue Yodel with a song of his called Treasures Untold. Dreaming of you and your eyes are blue. I've loved you forever, it seems. I have longed for you, dear, and wanted you near. You are the gal of my dreams. And though I have met you just now, I'll tell you of my love somehow. If I could but win your heart, little girl, then I would have treasure untold. These kisses you bring me in life's sweetest dreams are even more precious than gold. How I love your sweet face and your dear